Someone wronged you. Maybe it was recent. Maybe it was years ago. Maybe it still lives in a specific corner of your mind, preserved in perfect detail. What they did, what they said, how it felt. And somewhere underneath the hurt, something else. A pull, a pressure, a quiet voice that says, they should pay for this. That feeling is not pettiness. It is not immaturity. It is one of the oldest alarm systems in the human brain, firing exactly the way it was designed to fire. In a world that no longer works the way it was designed for, here is what is actually happening inside you. When someone betrays you, a lie, a broken promise, a public humiliation, a friend who turned, your brain does not process it the way it processes an inconvenience. It processes it the way it processes a threat to survival. The neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA ran a now-famous experiment using a simple virtual ball-tossing game. Participants were told they were playing with two other people online. Partway through the game, the other players stopped throwing the ball to them. A mild, artificial social exclusion lasting just a few minutes. Brain scans taken during this moment showed activation in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the same region that activates during physical pain. Social betrayal and physical injury share the same neural circuitry. Your brain does not distinguish between the two. Being left out, being lied to, being publicly humiliated, these register in the same system that registers a broken bone. This is not metaphor. This is neuroscience, and it makes complete sense from an evolutionary perspective. For almost all of human history, social exclusion was a death sentence. To be cast out of the group was to face predators, starvation, and exposure alone. The brain that treated social rejection as a minor inconvenience was the brain attached to a body that died. The brain that treated it as a 5-alarm emergency, that felt it as pain, that mobilized every available resource to respond, was the brain that survived. You still have that brain. Now add the revenge impulse specifically. Why does the mind move almost automatically toward the idea of retaliation? The answer involves a structure deep in the brain's reward system, the same circuitry involved in food, sex, and addiction. Researchers at the University of Zurich, led by Dominique de Quervain, used brain imaging to study people who had been betrayed in an economic trust game, and then given the opportunity to punish the person who betrayed them. What they found was striking. The decision to punish activated the caudate nucleus, a core part of the brain's reward circuitry. Anticipating revenge produced the same neural signature as anticipating something pleasurable. Revenge doesn't just feel justified, it feels good. At a neurological level, the brain treats the prospect of punishing a betrayer the same way it treats the prospect of a reward. This too has an evolutionary logic. In small ancestral groups, allowing betrayal to go unanswered was dangerous. It signaled weakness. It invited further exploitation, not just from the original betrayer, but from anyone watching. A reputation for swift retaliation was a form of social insurance. The brain that felt rewarded by punishment was the brain that enforced the social contracts that kept the group alive. But here is what the research also shows. And this is the part that matters most. The reward anticipation of revenge almost never survives the act itself. The same researchers at Zurich found that while the anticipation of punishment activated the reward system, the aftermath frequently did not deliver what the brain had promised. Other studies, including work by Kevin Carlsmith at Colgate University, found that people who took revenge reported feeling worse afterward than people who did not. Even though they predicted in advance that revenge would make them feel better, the brain advertises revenge as a resolution, a closing of the wound, a restoration of balance. But revenge does not actually close the wound. It keeps it open. It requires you to stay focused on the injury, to rehearse it, to remain in relationship with the person who hurt you long after you could have moved on. The anticipation system and the satisfaction system are not the same system. And in the case of revenge, they give very different answers. What the craving for revenge is actually telling you is not, do this. It is, something was taken from you that mattered. Your safety, your trust, your standing, your sense of how the world works. The alarm is real. The pain is real. The need for repair is real. It is only the proposed solution that doesn't work.